What can you actually do with it other than just speculating on it?
Hey everyone, I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day and welcome back to the channel. If you guys haven't already, please make sure to hit that subscribe button because today we're talking about what the Fed thinks about Bitcoin. Bitcoin's already going sky high. We think it's going to break above 100,000 bucks next week. Everything is looking good, but the Fed in particular really doesn't like Bitcoin. And so today we're going to be listening to somebody and his reasonings for not liking Bitcoin. And of course, it's not a really good reason at all. So let's get started.
I want to touch on cryptocurrencies. You've been a major critic. In fact, you talked about how cryptocurrencies are like a giant garbage dumpster at one point. I mean, with Bitcoin getting close to $100,000, how are you feeling about cryptocurrencies now?
Well, the question that I've been asking for the last 7 or 8 years continues. What can you actually do with it other than just speculating on it? I understand it's an article of speculation, and that's fine if people want to speculate on it. That's fine. They can speculate on anything they would like. But does it actually have any utility in an advanced economy? Can you buy things with it? Do people buy things with it? At least in the U.S., the answer is a resounding no. Almost nobody buys anything using Bitcoin. Then it was supposed to be an inflation hedge. And then when inflation took off in the U.S., Bitcoin got crushed. So it wasn't an inflation hedge. So it's not a useful payment tool. It's not an inflation hedge. Is it merely a speculative asset as an instrument of speculation? If that's all it is, that's fine. People can be free to speculate on whatever they would like. But I would like us to be clear on what this is and what this is not. And I'm waiting for anybody to explain to me how it is actually useful in an advanced economy, and I just haven't seen it yet.
Oh man, guys, he called out Bitcoin, but this is something that we have nowadays. It's 2024. We have AI, ChatGPT. Let me tell you what I put in here. What can you actually do with Bitcoin other than just speculate on it? I'm still waiting for someone to explain how it's generally useful in an advanced economy because I haven't seen a clear answer yet. Please explain it to me like I'm 10 years old. Now, I added that last little bit in there just so it could, help them out a little bit. Those Fed guys, maybe not so smart, a little bit of transitory memory, if you will. Let's hit enter. I'm not going to adjust anything. And look at this. You can send money around the world. You can keep your money safe. You can buy things. Sure, not everybody in America is doing it, but it grows every single year around the world. Collecting. Some people like to collect coins or stamps. Bitcoin can be something you collect too because there's only a limited amount of it. Help with big problems. In some countries where their own money isn't very stable, people use Bitcoin to buy things or save their money so it doesn't lose value. Again, our value of the US dollar has been going down for quite a bit of time. And even when he was talking about when inflation was rising, Bitcoin went down. Remember, guys, this is important. Bitcoin didn't go down because inflation was going high. Bitcoin went down because they rose interest rates. That's why. And now that we've started to lower interest rates over the past few months, what's happening? Bitcoin is going to the freaking moon. Sometimes I hear them saying these things, and I know they have to be smart enough to understand that what they're saying is wrong, but they still choose to say it anyway, which means they must be working for some other type of entity, and that doesn't mean they're working for some shady organization or some bank or something like that. They just may be working for those powers that want the US dollar to remain stable, and as more people choose Bitcoin, of course, people just lose a little bit more faith, a little bit more faith with the US dollar. What do you guys think about that?
How worried are you, and how worried is the Fed now that institutional investors are more and more getting into the cryptocurrency space?
We pay attention in terms of, like, for example, banks that might be banking in crypto and connecting to the U.S. Federal Reserve and our banking system and the plumbing that moves money around the U.S. economy. So I actually don't care about crypto from a speculative asset perspective. I don't think by itself it presents a financial stability risk, and it certainly is no threat to the dollar. But I do care if financial institutions could run into risk that they don't appreciate, and then that leads to some spillover into the plumbing of the core financial system of the U.S.
Now, you see, he made a point to say Bitcoin is not a threat to the dollar. And I agree, it's not a threat to the dollar yet. But the more the government makes mistakes, the more the Fed makes mistakes like transitory, you are going to see more people buying Bitcoin as a hedge. They don't have to put 20, 30, 50% of their portfolio into it, but maybe 2 to 5% of every portfolio holding a little bit of Bitcoin. That is going to go far, especially if every city does 1% of their budget in Bitcoin here, a little bit of investing for the state pensioners and stuff like that, that's a great way to go about it, because you know what happened last time. We know that Bitcoin goes up and down and it does have its big crashes, granted. But if you guys are playing the long term, you're usually going to be just fine. I'm really hoping that these guys at the Fed can really just get their head around it, get out of their own way and see, hey, people are investing in this. Wall Street is hopping on board. When Wall Street hops on board something, they usually know what they're doing. Of course, they've had their mistakes in the past as well. But what I like about Bitcoin here is it came from grassroots first, and then it's now just getting into Wall Street's hands. So a lot of the main work has already been done. Wall Street's just trying to come in and buy it up before it gets out of control. And we start seeing Bitcoins at like $200,000, $500,000, $1 million, because everybody knows, you know this, I know this, even the Fed guy knows this, the value of our dollar is going to continue to go down over time. There's no changing that right now. Maybe one day, the cost of goods will go down so much because we have AI and robots there to help us out, to do all that manual labor and make everything really easy for us. But even then, you're going to have some type of asset to hold to make sure you can reap some of that benefit. There's AI tokens out there, just like there's AI stocks. If you want a stock, you can go to Tesla. However, you could always just get a tokenized stock as well. So there's so many ways to enter the market right now, as Bitcoin is like really making a push towards $100,000. I do think it's going to be interesting to see if these guys over time can change their positions, or if they don't, can we just find new people to replace them? That just happened with the Ohio senator, right? He just got fired from his constituency after serving for I think a couple decades now, Sherrod Brown. But he was very anti-crypto. And unfortunately, there was enough crypto people in his state, as well as the people that didn't like his liberal policies, you may say. But him being anti-crypto did not help him at all, because so many people are pro-crypto. So let me know what you guys think about this guy. I don't think he's making horrible points, but I just think if you dig a little bit behind the surface, you can find a lot of the answers to what he's asking, right? So let me know.